What is going on, everyone? Can you believe it?
Can you believe it?
Episode 34.
Episode
That is
34.
That is mental, man. That is mental. We made it all the way to episode 34. That's mental. So I'm referencing some British guy I met. He's mental.
He's
But
mental.
we're on episode 34. 34 weeks of trying, grinding, getting better. I've been getting better. 34 weeks is a long time. Life has been getting better. But we have a great episode for today. This one is very practical
Yeah.
steps you can use to improve yourself. I mean, this is the baseline of becoming better.
Yes, sir. And just to kind of point it out as we sit here and we talk,
Yeah.
34 weeks, right? That's more than 8 months. It's 8.5 months.
Somebody got pregnant at the beginning of that, and the kid's about to be born.
The kid's about to be born,
That's
bro.
a thick and wealthy baby, bro.
That's a TW baby, bro. For real.
That is a whole TW baby. That is crazy.
If you got a baby coming in the next couple weeks,
Yeah.
tell us
Let
so
us
we can
know.
show up and say,
We pull up,
and we'll
drop a podcast with him.
we'll drop a podcast episode and write TW on his stomach when he's born.
Yeah, we'll mark him.
That's a real jit moment.
Yes, sir.
All right, enough tomfoolery. Let's do this. But first, before we get into the episode,
You're telling the feed today.
I gotta tell the fee, okay? So, like I said, when we come on here, we've come here for now. It's been 34 weeks.
Grinding hard, making life better. Life is beautiful. I'm happy.
Exactly. I'm happy
For
too.
34 weeks.
For 34 weeks, I've been driving to Nick's house or to some random park, and then having some weird dude on a bike pull up, and we sit down and we record these episodes, and it's an amazing 30-minute experience to an hour experience, because sometimes they're an hour, and we talk about all things mental health, money, grind, getting your life together, and you come here and you sit here, and we don't ask for nothing except one thing. And
That's
that's
one
the fee.
simple thing.
We want you to tell your friends, all right? We want you to go tell the homies. Don't you want your homies to grow with you?
Yes,
Don't
sir.
you want your homies to grind with you at that same level? Well, then tell them about the podcast. Get them on it too. Let's grow this podcast together.
Yes, sir.
And, tell that baby too. If you got that baby coming along the
Think
way,
a wealthy baby.
put some
Drop it,
headphones
T-dub.
put some headphones on that thing and start
We'll make them strong.
TW. You know what I'm saying? All right,
That's the value exchange, bro.
let's do it. I think it's time to start the episode then.
Anyways, so today we're going to be talking about monk mode. This has been popularized
mode.
by famed millionaire / YouTuber / business owner Iman Gadzhi. I think I'm saying his last name right. I don't know.
I got no clue, bro.
I don't know how to say his last name correctly, but
Does he ever say his name? Like in
he
his
says
videos?
Iman. I don't know, but yeah. Anyway, so it's popularized by Iman Gadzhi. I'm just gonna call him that, or Iman. And his whole thing is that he takes about 6 months out of the year to practice this thing that we call monk mode.
Yes.
This is just highly conducive to productivity. This is
Yes,
great
sir.
for mental health. It's great for building better physique, better mind, better business. This whole 6 month period is when he immerses himself into this deep focus, in which
Right.
he basically separates himself from society and just completely locks it in. And the other
Right.
6 months of the year, he's kind of like, partying, living it up. But because he earns it by doing this 6 months of hard work.
Yes, sir.
So essentially, how it works is you set. There's 3 variables that are
Negotiable.
Non-negotiable. Yeah. So these 3 variables are things that you cannot skip, and then you set another 3 to 4 variables that are your own custom variables that you follow. Right.
Yes, sir.
So essentially, you set it for about a cycle of 21 to 30 days, and then you just kind of cycle on and off for 6 months on the monk mode.
Right.
And the whole thing is just to build this intense immersion in productivity.
Okay. Yeah.
So, do you want to list off the non-negotiables for the people watching,
Yeah.
so I can understand the rules, and we'll get into mindset?
So there's like 3 that he kind of sets as like non-negotiables that I guess everyone's supposed to do, right?
Everyone must follow these.
I think you don't necessarily have to if you don't want to, but it's
True.
part of like the monk mode protocol that he does.
Yeah.
And I think they're all great, things to do.
I agree.
The first one is 30 minutes exercise. That's just kind of a good baseline one.
Every single day.
And to be honest with you, to kind of explain, I was always like, I was a little bit like, I don't maybe need to do the exercise one,
Yeah.
right? But since I've been doing monk mode, I think that 30 minutes where I'm just out, I mean, for me, a lot of the time I just go out and I go skate or whatever, like just something to get myself moving and out. It feels great, and it creates like a level of productivity that wasn't there before because I'm getting that exercise in.
Yeah.
And I think it's crucial, and a lot of people don't realize that. So I think that's a great thing. Next one is 10 minutes of meditation, which is
Everyone should
goated.
be meditating.
Meditate, bro.
If you're not
Literally
meditating,
do it.
start that already.
I meditated for 20 minutes today.
That's goated.
I doubled the time. I just felt like it, but I was just
That's
sitting there
literally goated.
waiting for these guys to get back from freaking Canes
Had some
While
fried
I-
chicken.
while I was, meditating, getting in the grind. And then the last one is no drinking or no smoking, or I'm just gonna say no drugs in general.
Yeah.
And I mean, me and Nick kind of follow that one pretty much already.
Yeah.
I would drink sometimes, but Nick would really
I do
never.
none of that.
But we're on the grind. And I think that's a great one. It really is.
It really
it's
is.
like,
For people who are like too far gone into it, that's a really great protocol.
it's good to just kind of keep like, if you're doing that, it just kind of keeps the party mentality a little bit less out of the way. And obviously that's kind of the whole point of this, to kind of to lock it in and get focused each day. And if you're doing drinking, like coming home, have a drink or whatever, I think that creates a lot more problems.
I agree. No, I agree.
But
And then you set some more variables yourself, right?
yeah.
Do
So
you want to
can
give yours? You want me to give
I'll give mine first just 'cause I'm talking right now.
Go for it.
So for me, I set 3 extra variables. I don't know if you ever said you have to set 3 extra variables, and I think it's kind of stupid to say you have to.
Yeah, you don't necessarily have to, but you should, honestly.
You could, like set as many variables as you want. I think 3 is a good amount, so that's how many I did.
Yeah, he said to do like 6 at most, because then it becomes too much after that, but you can do more
Yeah.
if you want.
So for me, I was sitting there thinking, okay, like what do I want to do? And I wanted to really angle it as like my other protocols and things are all around getting work done and focusing. For me, so I decided I was going to do 1 hour of deep work a day. That's for me, like if it's whether it's school or Thinking Wealthy, I prefer to be Thinking Wealthy / business grinding kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just because I think it's like one thing I was thinking about is like we talked about in the last episode, like I should be like clocking into shifts basically for my side hustle. Like I want to make this work. I need to be working 10 plus hours a week minimum on it, right?
Yeah.
Preferably much more than that, right? And so for me, that hour of deep work every day that I'm trying to, I've so far been able to work on Thinking Wealthy for an hour each day, except for one day where I had to make it schoolwork just because I had a lot of schoolwork to get done.
Yeah.
So, you fit it in when you can, but an hour of deep work a day for me is just like a time where I put away the phone and I work for an hour. Really helps get things done. My next protocol was posting 1 social media post a day, whether it was on the TikTok or on Instagram, on YouTube, whatever, just 1 post a day minimum. Have to get that in there.
Yeah.
Just, kind of a basic protocol, but one for me that I think is really important. And then my final protocol was one for helping me, save a little money, which is don't eat out unless it's with other people. So don't buy
That's
food
good.
out
Yeah.
or eat food out unless it's with other people. Since I've been doing this, I've been able to save a lot more money, and I was kind of practicing it even before monk mode, but now I really dialed it in. Like I always have a food prep option ready to go, something I can bring to work or school, just so I never have to buy food out unless I'm, gonna go enjoy that time with friends. So yeah, that's my 3 protocols.
So my 3 protocols are no sweets / fast food. Pretty simple. Just like cutting out all desserts and everything for a full month really, really is nice. And like fast food, nothing greasy. Like I literally, first time I had fast food in a whole month was literally today, having Raising Cane's. So that was pretty goated. It was good. I enjoyed it.
You enjoyed that slimy chicken?
That slimy chicken, bro. Sliming. And then I did no caffeine / decaf coffee only. Right. So because I like one of my bad things is I have a caffeine addiction, or at least I did.
Yeah.
And I was drinking so much, like I was drinking a Bang, and I could fall asleep afterwards. And for those who don't know, that is really bad. So I kind of just like slowly weaned off caffeine, and then when I got into actual monk mode, I was literally just only drinking decaf coffee because I still enjoy the taste of coffee, and cutting out the actual highs is nice. And then the last thing that I did was 30 minutes of deep work every single day, whether that be like, posting for my TikTok organic drop shipping, or working on my social media marketing agency, or Thinking Wealthy. Just kind of like all of those together. 30 minutes every single day, just no phone, get it away, and then grind.
Right. Okay.
So yeah. Those were my protocols. So I literally just finished yesterday, right? So, I mean, you started...
I started Monday, so it's about to be 1 week into it.
Mm-hmm.
And to be completely honest with everyone,
Yeah.
I technically failed one day.
Okay.
Where I didn't get one of my goals done, which was the 10 minutes of meditation was what it was. I was able to every day, like I've been really into skating lately.
Yeah.
I've been like really enjoying it. So like it's easy for me to go do that. So, but I'm definitely worrying like as I kind of go through the weeks, am I going to be able to keep myself doing that? It's kind of a test for me. Like I started this monk mode is like, my goal with this first cycle is to mainly kind of just get my productivity and my sleep and my rest, everything kind of back in schedule.
Yeah.
I think with the start of school, like I started school right around the same time that I got into this relationship that I've been in, and it's great and it's a lot of fun, but I definitely know that I spend a lot of time not kind of putting in like that sleep and that rest, the kind of the things that are crucial for that productivity, right? I've been definitely, my sleep has been one thing that I want to kind of improve on. And just all around, like one thing I've noticed and the one thing that I've been thinking about a lot is productivity is almost like a cyclical thing in my head. Like the way that I see myself kind of go through it is there's like a cycle. Like I get really productive for like a week or so where there's like this just feeling of like energy in my body that I just want to be super
Just
productive.
on fire for life.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it kind of weans off. You have to use discipline then to kind of keep it going. But what I've realized is it's almost like instead of trying to force myself to stay in the productivity constantly and try to basically what it is, my goal is to instead of extend the cycle of that portion where I'm in productivity for as long as possible, it's instead to make the cycle shorter so that I hit those productivity weeks more frequently, if that makes sense.
I see.
Because one thing that I was reading a lot about, thinking a lot about, is I think in this culture that we have now of like we need to be productive, grind all the time. It's important that we're grinding all. I think it creates this kind of unrealistic expectation for us that we have to be working every day constantly. And I'm not saying that you should take like for me personally, I like to take like those breaks, but when I say break, I don't mean I'm doing nothing all day.
It's like an earned rest.
Yeah,
right?
it's like that day I will just kind of chill. I will stay at home. I will work on my computer, but I still get work done. There's still things I am doing. It's just I'm not like, just to give you guys a little insight on how my weeks go. Monday through Thursday, I'm at school or I'm at work for a huge portion of the day, or I'm doing both in the day. I'm grinding out everything I got to do. I'm like back to back to back thing I'm doing. Like one thing ends at 3, next thing starts at 4. Like we're going the whole day, and I don't get home till 12, and then I go to bed and do it the next day. You know what I'm saying? So when I get to that weekend, I'm like, okay, like it's time to kind of take that down cycle and go into the next week. And what I've realized is I think I'm gonna kind of do some. I don't know if my theory is correct, but if I take a little bit more rest time, I'm hoping what it does is recharges those batteries and gets the productivity a bit higher.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see, because to me, I think rest is crucial for productivity.
Yeah.
If you want to be productive, you can't constantly like it's you know that feeling when you're tired, you don't want to do it, you're just out of it,
And you feel terrible.
and you're trying to push yourself to get it done. I think like for some people maybe it's more of like that's what I want, like I want to be there. And I know you've said that before where you like kind of thrive in that like pushing yourself to be there. But for me, I'm like my best work comes when I'm in that zone, and it's easiest for me to get in that zone when I'm in that productivity cycle. So I'm like, maybe for me, my method is to take 5 days on, 2 days off every week to kind of shorten that cycle up as much as possible and kind of repeat that cycle over and over again.
Yeah.
But we'll see. That's kind of my theory right now, the thing I'm testing out, and I'm gonna let y'all know when I'm done with my research, basically.
What the
we'll
scoop
see.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, finishing up, the main benefit has just been like mental clarity, right? Like the whole thing that I was focusing on is more sleep, more productivity, more time to myself, less like other people, less social media, all this stuff, right? Like it was just all this crystal clear mindset of just I'm in the gym, getting home, I'm working, and I'm getting back, going doing work, just like all this stuff, right? Like I was getting my schedule right down to a T to like I had my half hours planned out, like hour planned out, and like do this, do that, and I had like my whole schedule just perfectly locked in. And then I just felt like as I was following the schedule each day and doing the actual tasks that I wanted to, I felt so like almost like high on life. Like it was, I know that sounds cringe. Everyone's like high on life, like like that. But like genuinely, that's how it felt. Like it was so great. It feels
super good.
Like every single day, I was just following my schedule. So the main takeaway that I have from this is like I just focused on sleep, and then I just followed the schedule that I made. And like the success feeling every single day when I went to sleep was so good.
Yeah,
it would compound like every single day at the end of the night, I would like check off that last task I need to get done for the day, lay down in bed. I'm like, I can't wait to do this again tomorrow. Like
Yeah.
that is genuinely how it felt. Like I was getting to bed right on time, waking up right on time, and then executing the day perfectly on time.
Right.
Like it felt so good. Like I was like a machine.
Right.
And I didn't get burnt out until maybe the like last couple days, right? Because it's just like that's a 30 days of just on the gas, you know.
Yeah.
But it was a clean feeling. It wasn't like 75-day hard. I've done 75-day hard a lot, and there's still great benefits to 75-day hard. But for where we are at right now, and like our entrepreneur journeys, mindset journeys, monk mode is way more effective to what we need to
Right.
produce in our lives. So that's why I really liked monk mode.
Yeah.
Is
I
that,
think-
like the mental health and the clarity.
Right. I think 75-day hard is like kind of like punching you in the gut level of like you gotta
like learn to take a hit, you know.
right. I think monk mode's more about like focusing and dialing in and getting work done, while 75-day hard's more about like creating that disciplined mindset. Right. So it's kind of like two different things, and it doesn't mean that monk mode isn't about, you know, being disciplined, but it's a little bit less intense.
Yeah.
Therefore, it allows you to be just a bit more focused on your work, but it isn't like a full on like, I can't do this, I can't do that. You know what I mean? Like the more I think about it, and the more that I look at my life, like these are like these years that I want to be, you know, spending the most amount of time, you know, really enjoying that life, right? And like I gotta grind and I gotta work, but I can do both. You know what I'm saying? Like you can do both, you can fit both in.
Monk
and
mode is a balanced immersion.
Yeah, and monk mode to me is like it's all about that balance, and that's why I've actually really been liking it. I think it's cool. It's like I don't have to like I remember I tried 75-day hard, and I was just like it felt. I mean, it was a mixture of a lot of things, but partly Nick was making me get up at like 5 a.m. when I didn't want to.
Yeah, he was like vomiting. It was really bad.
Yeah, I was just not in the mood to be working that hard, and I think it's like it depends on what you want. You know what I mean? Like that is something that you have to decide. And you know, you can call me a baby, Sam. You know, like, I can't deal with 75-day hard. But to me, the workoutness of it, like the physical health stuff, isn't as important. Like physical health is obviously very important, but like my physical health is fine. Like I have good physical health. I just, you know, more focused on working and doing what's important to me. And to me, that really is focusing on learning, you know, progressing, you know, and working on my businesses, working on this stuff. So I think monk mode is that thing. Like it is that. It's crucial for it. And yeah, so as I kind of have been doing this, you know, I definitely recommend it for people who are trying to kind of learn to balance out their days a bit more.
Yeah.
Right? So for me, I've almost kind of been doing what monk mode is without doing monk mode. Like there was a while.
That's kind of how your lifestyle was, right? Yeah.
There was a while where it was really basically I was doing monk mode without saying I was doing monk mode, right? So and now at school it's a bit more like kind of all over the place. Like it's harder to fit everything in, but I think, you know, it's definitely still possible and it's definitely still doable. It's just, you know, how I kind of, you know, schedule it out and get it done. And, you know, I think there's kind of a balance that you have to achieve. And I think that's what monk mode is about, right? So like it's about that balance and achieving it and kind of getting to the point where everything's dialed into exactly what times you're going to do things at, exactly when you're going to, you know what I mean? Like that is kind of a thing that's going to force you to do, and therefore you'll get really good at it, right? So
Right.
a skill you'll practice a bunch.
No, I agree. Like I basically was doing monk mode before this, but adding on the actual like, oh, I'm doing monk mode now, right? Like defining it made it a lot more easier to actually do the habits. Because now it's like a challenge, right? Like everyone loves a good little challenge.
Right.
And like I want to make this, you know, I want to do this, right? So that's what made monk mode even better for like my daily habits is like now I had that extra little boost of I'm doing a challenge now, so now I got to do it, right? Like I got to show up. So that made the habits a lot easier to continue. So that's why I think everyone should do it. Like our whole thing is we're arguing you to do monk mode. That's what this episode is, right?
Yeah, try it
like
out.
If you're a young entrepreneur looking for something to pull you in the right direction, do monk mode, you know? And go watch Iman Gadzhi's video on it. Like he breaks it down on how to do monk mode, right?
Yeah.
Is there a way you can link it in like the YouTube description or something?
I'll link it in the YouTube and we'll have it there so you guys can go check that out. And even if you're watching this on TikTok or whatever, so you know we have a clip or something, just go look it up. It's a pretty popular video.
It's a big video.
So like the main thing that I want to kind of say as a thing for, because I think you did it for the whole time. I haven't been doing it for the whole time, but I've been doing it for this week, And, we kind of like have been talking a lot recently about productivity, how to get people more productive, how to get that productivity up, and just to help people kind of work on themselves more and focus in more. Because I think the biggest thing that I hear so many young people say is, I don't have enough time, right? And I get it, right? Like I get that feeling because I've been there. I've been feeling that, like, it's like, oh, I don't have enough time. Like, I just don't know how I'm going to fit this all in. And sometimes you got to make sacrifices, right?
Yeah.
There's times where you're going to have to say, I can't hang out with you guys tonight. You know what I mean? I got to go, I can't watch that video tonight. I can't watch a movie tonight.
You got to do monk mode.
Got to work on my stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Got to be in my monk mode.
Because I think that's a big portion of it. A lot of people say, I don't have enough time, but it's more like they're like, I'm scared to say, I'm going to have to sacrifice some fun so I can get the important things done, right?
The only way you're going to get to your success is by sacrificing something,
Right.
You got
really
to put
true.
something on the line in order to gain that.
Yeah. Like, for a little context, I was doing the meditation that we do with Monk Mode. I told Nick this before we started the episode, and me and him both really liked the Skyrim soundtrack.
Oh yeah, goated.
Shout out to those people who play Skyrim. Such a good soundtrack.
Great for meditating too.
And Nick didn't play the game, but I have so many hours on this game. It's probably one of the games that I played the most as a little kid. Freaking loved that game. And it's like nostalgia central, bro. And so I was listening to the soundtrack because to me that is like it. I don't know why it just gets you in the zone, bro.
It does.
There's something about that music.
The music is made to not be heard. Like that's what it
like
is.
Basically,
And
a lot of it is just like ambient. It's just like the sounds of a river running and birds chirping,
wind,
along with like
blowing
this,
in grass,
along with this like little this music that's just it's so beautiful. It's so quaint, and it brings back this feeling of like. There's so many feelings, right? It brings back like that fun, like game feeling. Like I'm playing the game. It's so much fun. But also because it's been I've been listening to the soundtrack for years. So it's almost like kind of this, it was the way that I focused so many times in the past. Like when I would listen to it, I would sit down, do homework, listening to it, sit down and, work on my stuff, listen, meditate to it. So it just kind of like brings back this immense feeling of like happiness and like security.
Yeah.
But I was sitting there, I was like, man, I want to play freaking Skyrim. Like I was sitting there thinking about it. And I was like, but then I thought about it, I was like, when would I do that?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I was sitting there, I was thinking, when will I do that? I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know when I'd have time to sit down and play Skyrim. And it was a reality that in my head that I knew I've been kind of seeing kind of over and over again, this trend of like, I don't have time right now to play games. I don't have time to at least do it so much. Like, yeah, maybe I could go home right now, right? Mm-hmm. We could record this episode. I go home. I turn on my computer and go play Skyrim, right?
You could.
And I could play for an hour and probably feel pretty good about it. You know what I mean? Like, okay, that's a good amount of time. But I know in my head, first of all, 1 hour is not enough. Mm-hmm. Especially with freaking Skyrim. All you guys know, starting up Skyrim's a whole mess. If you're trying to play it on PC, you're trying to add mods to it, it's going to be a whole it's going to take me an hour and a half just to get it ready to play. And then I'm going to have to play it. And I'm going to get sucked in to playing this game. Mm-hmm. And to me, my thought process behind it is, okay, I could be doing that. I could spend my hour doing that. Or I could sit down, I could focus on my work for an extra hour and get it done. You know what I mean?
It's a really interesting concept. I want to add on to this. I heard this recently. So this guy, his name is Luke Belmar, right? Super rich dude, great mindset. This guy's good to go check him out. Right. But he talks about he was breaking down how the wealthy think about their money. And so he's like, okay, I want to make $1 million. And let's say I work a 40-hour work week. How much is my hourly rate? He's like, okay, it's got to be like $550 an hour, right?
Right.
So then he starts thinking to himself, he's like, so, for an hour period, I could play video games for an hour, or, I could like work on my business for an hour, right? So think of it this way. If you play video games for an hour, instead of just losing that time, you're now losing $550.
Right.
So you want to be doing something that's conducive to making you $550 in that hour.
Right.
So that's what you want to change each of your mindset for the hour is, oh, I want to make $550 here. This is the hour that I can grind on, instead of like, oh, I'm going to play Minecraft. I'm just going to enjoy some Minecraft for a little bit. Right. Like that's what your mindset should be on as you're becoming like wealthy. That's the mindset you want to have towards your time now. Yeah.
And I think so, like, and when you say like 40 hours a week, right?
Yeah.
So one thing I want to bring up that's an important point is we talk a lot about like, we don't have time, blah, 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 blah. We don't have enough time to play these games. Mm-hmm. Realistically, me and Nick both spend time relaxing.
Oh yeah, we both do.
We both spend time relaxing, so we don't want you to think
we're
that...
We're not machines. We're not
we are
perfect.
not, yeah. And I might go play Skyrim, bro. It might happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might change my mind and say, I have enough time. I want to play a little Skyrim.
I always watch like anime in my free time.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
me and Nick both have things that we do that are enjoyable. I mean, a good portion of my time I spend with my girlfriend and my friends, where I am just, that's like that to me. That's the time when I'm relaxing.
Yeah.
I'm spending time with friends, spending time with my girlfriend, whatever. I'm relaxing when I'm doing that, right? Because that's the time that I have to do it, and that's how much I have. Like I was talking with my girlfriend, and I was saying like, oh yeah, I want to do more. Like I want to do this, this, and this, and she was like, okay, but like you do realize you like do so much, right? Because I was telling her about monk mode when I was about to start it, and I was like, yeah, like I'm gonna start doing this, and I'm gonna, it's gonna really increase my productivity. She's like, wait, you do so much already. Because I was like, I've been lacking so much, I've been not doing enough, and she's like, you need to appreciate the amount of work you do put in, right? Yeah. So I want to say, like, while we are talking about monk mode and we're talking about increasing that productivity, do please realize that you do a lot already, right?
Yeah.
If you're watching this and you're actually paying attention to this episode, you probably do have a good mindset and you probably work pretty hard already. And it's really important to take, note of that, because
I agree.
You're above and beyond most people. And that's the thing you got to realize. Like, I was kind of having a moment where I was feeling like really down. I was like, oh, I just feel like crap. Like I can't get myself to be as productive as I was before, right? And I think right now I'm kind of in that cycle where it's a bit like lower productivity. I'm a little tired. I'm a little burnt out. And so I was, kind of sad about it and I was upset about it. But that's when I realized, like, I do so much already. So like, be sad about it is only going to make my productivity worse if I just sit there kind of sad and upset about it. It's time to dial it in, realize I do a lot, but there's some tweaks and improvements we can make.
Always improvements to make.
And keep moving forward, you know what I'm saying?
Appreciate where you're at now, but keep moving forward.
Right. So just kind of the big takeaway I'd say for that is realize with productivity, there is two sides of the coin. You gotta really learn to dial it in. But in my opinion, like, dial it in, but if you dial it in well, you have that time that on the other side where you can relax and you can chill, you can spend time with friends, you can do whatever you want to do, and you can have those relaxing moments. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it's all about control at the end of the day, right? When I'm talking about playing Skyrim, I could go play Skyrim for hours at a time because it's fun, it's addicting, it's easy. And that's kind of like my worry is, like, if I go clock into that game and I start playing that game, how many hours am I going to spend? You know what I mean? Am I going to get bored in an hour and be done? Or am I going to keep playing and get distracted? You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those two things. You have to realize the importance of, okay, I'm going to only do this much if I am going to do that, right? And that's why, like, to me, if I have that relaxation time, I have it as part of my schedule. It's not just like, okay, I'm going to do these important productivity tasks and then everything else is relaxation. I think that is what kind of leads into people pushing aside the productivity. Like, make the reward from your productivity. Okay, I get an hour of time that I'm going to spend having fun.
Yeah, that's smart.
But define a time that you're going to have that relaxation.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. Just like define it.
Define how much you're going to relax. Because if you don't define it, same thing with like when you take a nap. If you take a 30-minute nap, you'll nap for 30 minutes. If you say, I'm going to take a nap, and you don't put a timer on, 2 hours passes by like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That is true.
There's easy skills here that you can take away, and I think monk mode will really help you with that. And the thing that I'd say is also one kind of final thing. Sorry, I'm saying so many final things.
Always final things.
Don't worry so much if you fail. Kind of, to me, at least with monk mode, and when I say fail, it's like you mess up on one of the tasks, like I already did. But I'm just moving forward. I'm like, okay, how can I improve? How can I not have that happen a second time, right? Just learn from it. The whole point, in my opinion, about monk mode and these challenges is not to be like beat yourself up when you fail.
Yeah.
But it's just to get back up and recover quickly and
get
keep
right
going.
Back on the path. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's the same thing for me. That's like my closing thought here is like, if you focus and do this right, you'll have extreme mental clarity and your productivity is going to be amazing. Yeah. Mental health is going to be good. And if that's what you focus on, that's what you're going to get, So focus on that whole aspect is what you want to gain from this. It's not that you're going to become superhuman, that everything's in your life is going to change. No, it's the small consistency that you learn that creates this like mental clarity. So focus on those, and then as well as just don't quit. Like, say you mess up, you slip off the path just a little bit. It's more important that you don't beat yourself up that you fell off the path. You just get back on the path.
Keep going.
You keep going. Because if you beat yourself up when you're off the path, that does no good for nobody. You get back on the path and you just keep moving forward. It's that simple.
Yes, sir.
So literally just do monk mode, bro. If you were looking for that productivity hack, do monk mode.
And it even applies. Sorry, add one more thing. it even applies to if you're not entrepreneurship, you're not looking to build a business. If you're in school and you're in college and stuff, and you're trying to focus on your classes, hey, this is
Do monk mode, bro.
do monk mode. You know what I'm saying?
Literally do.
I have a
monk
lot
mode.
of people telling me, "Oh, I don't have enough time to focus on my school." Blah 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 blah. I bet if they did monk mode, they'd be doing great. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, you'll get ahead of like 90% of your peers when you do monk mode.
For real.
100%. Like, do monk mode. Go be productive. That's my closing thoughts.
That's my closing thoughts too.
All right, you guys. I think this is a great episode. Go.
Yes, sir.
Go. Oh my gosh, why am I
Achieve
blinking?
some greatness.
No, not achieve greatness. The fee. Go tell people about our show,
Go
right?
tell people
Obviously,
about our show.
we provided some value for you guys, as you guys provide us some value back, and
Yes,
then
sir.
go achieve some greatness. All right. We appreciate you guys. 6 a.m.
Go kill
Pacific
it.
Standard Time. Go grind. Yes, sir. We will see you guys in the next episode.
Peace.